Peace and blessings. Hotep, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Culture Chronicles with me, Novocaine Omega, and your primary king host them.
Fats, aka Serious B, you know what I'm saying? A hip hop scholar,
What you say?
you know, being a hip hop missionary, you know what I'm saying? Y'all already know what it is.
That's funny. So yeah, how y'all doing today? Welcome to another installment of the Culture Chronicles. We're going to be exploring some of the ins and outs of our culture, hip hop culture, as we know it. You know what I mean? Today, our topic is dealing with kind of a little bit of myth busting. Myth busters. We're going to do a little bit of myth busting today in the way of setting the record straight about b-boying versus popping and locking. Now, I don't like to say versus, but I just don't know no other way to catch you guys' attention than to say it that way, because they're not against each other. They work in tandem. But people think that they are one and the same, that they are all that popping and locking and b-boying is all one root and is all from the same root chakra, but not quite, right?
Right. It's
Okay.
different. It's definitely, they come from different, yeah, two totally different. Not totally different. I don't want to say totally different only because of the cultural aspect of it.
Okay.
The people, if you're just discussing the element of dance, then you're definitely discussing different dance styles that happen in different places.
Okay.
Kind of around the same time, though, to be honest. But if you're talking about the people, then the environments are the same, the situations are the same, and the total vibration of the I guess the subconscious energy that brought forth these styles of dance is the same. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So when you look at it like that.
So you're saying the spirit of b-boying, popping, and locking has a lot of the same spirit, same reasons for existing and stuff like that.
Yes.
Some of the same roots.
Yes.
But it's just that it's not b-boying, popping and locking is not quite b-boying as people would like to lump it in.
Right.
Okay.
So we're gonna get into why that happened, when that happened, why that happened, and then we're gonna, break it down for you.
So y'all don't go nowhere. I'm gonna just say this right now in the beginning while I got y'all. Today is Small Business. It's Small Business Saturday, which follows up Black Friday. You know what I mean? So you can buy black, and then you can support small businesses. And on Monday, you can celebrate Cyber Monday by supporting more small businesses. Okay, but we run a small business, and Fats has a book called Off Stage. You hear me? He wrote it with his knuckles down to his knuckle tips, and put blood, sweat, and tears into it. So he's been reading his book live every Tuesday for the past few Tuesdays. So the third installment of that is happening again this Tuesday on this station, whatever station you're tuning into, whether it's the Culture Chronicles, the Each Nine Teach Nine, Fats Nove, or even Crumb TV is where it will be at. So we'll say more about that later. All right. So back to the b-boying and the popping and the locking.
Right.
So talk to me. Step one. What we got here?
Okay. Well, you spoke of a book. I wrote another book. Writing in the process of getting that one worked on now. And it's basically myths and misconceptions of hip hop. And so we're going to really break down one of the chapters of it. You know what I mean? One of the chapters is about this. Popping and locking isn't the same. It's not really, it's not really popping and locking. It's not b-boying or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, we have to look at geography. Let's make that one. Let's start easy. Okay.
All right.
So first of all, popping and locking is a West Coast manifestation, you know what I mean? Peace.
What up, Cino?
All right. Oh, what up?
You know what I mean?
And that is a brother who just spoke. That is a brother who at one time was a practitioner of the style of which I'm talking about now, which is the West Coast style of popping and locking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that was started according to an elder we actually got to run into at Urban Artistry. Big up to the Urban Artistry, Assassin's Crew, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Big ran into an event that they did years ago, and we got to meet Pop Tart. And Pop Tart was saying that the whole popping and locking movement thing, popping, took place like in the late '60s, actually, in the early '70s. You know what I'm saying? So if you start there with the popping and locking, you also want to get, there's also now popping and locking, that's different too. Okay.
So popping and locking are different.
Popping is something else. Popping is one
But
thing.
it's coupled with popping usually.
Right. So you always hear popping and locking.
Okay.
Usually. I normally hear them together. You know what I mean?
So before we move forward, right now, what is the difference between popping and lock? So you're saying Okay, for b-boying is coming out of New York, and popping and locking is coming out of California.
Yes.
So that's geography.
That's right. That's difference number one.
Okay, so that's difference number one.
Okay, right.
So now, but then you're saying popping and locking, it has a difference between it. What might that be?
Well, geography again. Popping, Northern California, Oakland, Fresno, the Bay Area. So you could just say Bay Area for the birth of all aspects of popping. Popping can break down too. You got tutting, strutting, roboting, you know what I mean? All that kind of, all that whole popping and stuff. Right, glides and things like that. Then you have locking, which was Southern California.
Is that with the
right?
Like rerun,
Don Camelot rerun points, Uncle Sound points, the big hats. Breaking
the
1 and 2
socks.
Right, all of that. That's locking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that was started in 1971.
So that's not Northern California. That's
Southern California.
That's Southern California.
Right. Locking is Southern California. Popping is Northern California.
Got you.
Right.
So rerun doing the locking like we know.
Right.
But Mr. Wiggles, who else?
Who is Rocksteady? And we're gonna get into that.
All right.
Because that's where a lot of it. That's where I'm not mad at people putting them together, and we're gonna get into that.
So when you start talking about all the tuts and stuff, you're talking about
its birthplace is the Bay Area, California. Yes.
Gotcha.
Oakland. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we're gonna get into it too. So I'm glad you know the difference between the tuts and the struts and all that stuff, because we can get into it.
Babe, culture crime. You know how we do.
All right.
So
all right. So we got a geography difference here, and then even within itself, even more of a geography difference when you get into popping
and locking.
All right.
Both Cali, North Cali popping, Southern Cali locking.
So move forward.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty much that, and that's a date and time, and we'll say I got some notes here. I got the chapter pulled up for everybody. In 1971, Don Camelot originated the dance form locking and formed the Lockers in Los Angeles. In 1976, the Electric Boogaloo Lockers was created by Boogaloo Sam Solomon, Nate Slide Johnson, and Joe Slim Thomas in Fresno, California. You know what I mean? So in 71, Don Camelot, he starts the Lockers.
Let me see. All right, keep talking. Let me see if I can actually pull up some pictures of these folks.
If you got Don Camelot, matter of fact, I think he's an ancestor. Rising power to the ancestor. But everybody should know Shabba-Doo. Look up, Don Camelot. And everybody know the El DeBarge dude that was in Breaking 1 and 2 with Boogaloo Shrimp.
Okay, so
it was Shabba-Doo and it was Boogaloo Shrimp.
So already we got some people here. So this is Don Camelot Campbell.
Okay.
All right.
Rising power to the ancestor. Yeah.
All right.
So he comes. This is the locking. When y'all see them dudes doing all that, this is the creator. This is the person that in our history and culture is coined. He is the one that needs to be deemed the creator. He created the dance and he created the group, the Lockers. You know what I mean?
Okay. So yes. the electric boogaloo. So the electric boogaloo Lockers.
Now the electric boogaloo Lockers was cats up in Fresno. So electric
so
boogaloo.
Different. Okay.
Right, you change. It's called Electric Boogaloo Lockers in 1976 in Fresno, California.
Okay, Boogaloo.
And you could have caught these groups on Soul Train, both of them. Normally, various members of the groups, you caught them on Soul Train. We know of Robot Prince. I believe right. Robot Prince is more affiliated with that Bay. He's a legend in that Bay area. But Robot Prince was, we love him on his little Soul Train runs when we watch Robot Prince.
So is he with them? I'm
not sure that he was with any particular crew. I cannot say that for sure.
Okay.
But I know he's definitely a legend. A lot of people look up to him. And he's obviously from the... They even some say that you can even break down the roboting and the tutting when you get into the Bay Area for parts of the Bay Area. So, So...
Tools you claim everyone has learned.
Shut up. Hey.
Now look at the year, y'all. This 1976. You know what I'm saying? On Soul Train.
Hey.
This is locking, y'all. Let's go.
All right. So I notice how they dress too.
Right.
I really wish I knew the why. Why they dress this way. Hey. Oh man.
Oh, he nice with it, yo.
You kind of act like you're shooting craps too. Look like in it sometimes. Like you rolling some dice and you throw them.
Ah.
Come on. Is that rerun?
There you go.
Hey. Hey.
Yes, yo.
Come through, rerun.
Rising power to the ancestor, yo.
Hey. I like his fit too. I don't really like always the way that be looking, but I like that fit right there. Come on out.
Ooh. Word up.
Alright.
Yeah.
Hey.
Alright, so that's the lockers, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, so continue.
Yeah. And so this is the style that comes out in Southern California.
Okay.
And so then you have popping. And I'm giving you actually the end result of the formation of these crews. So by the time you're watching this, again, this crew started in 71. This is 76. So Soul Train started in Chicago with Don Cornelius, moved to LA. All of these groups were already out there. These cats were dancing in LA in the streets back in the day. Soul Train starts. These cats end up on Soul Train numerous times.
Okay.
They're regular Soul Train dancers, and then they give them a chance to display their actual style in the whole nine. You know what I mean? So,
was I supposed to display anything else?
well, no, that's pretty much it as far as locking.
Okay.
So, you know.
Deshaun, what's up? How you doing, bruh? Ozone was locking, Turbo was popping, he said.
Exactly. Good observation. Yes.
Mignette, but Hip Tookie was a beast at popping and locking.
Definitely.
For real?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know
See,
that.
but that
either.
makes sense because it was heavy in the gang culture of LA. You know, that hitting, all that or whatever, like Mr. Animation would do. You know, a lot of that comes just from the beat from the gang culture. You know, again, it's always, that's really what it, again, they go to similarity, you know, into the B-boying of the East and the whole thing of the West. There's these young gang cats trying to find something else to do, to occupy themselves, you know what I'm saying, to do something more positive or whatever. This is popping. Rising power to the ancestor. This is one of my favorite people, Mr. Animation. And this is all West Coast, y'all.
So it seems like, I don't want to jump the gun, but it seems like the funk is at the root of both b-boying and popping and locking.
Well, funk. That's why you can umbrella music. You can umbrella funk in all of it. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, when we're now looking at Radiotron on the West Coast in the '80s. So this electric funk that we're listening to now started dominating the popping and locking of this time. And then right around the time that popping and locking and b-boying all together become popular, in the media, electric funk is running the airways.
Right.
So that's what people are now. This is now b-boying and pop locking music and nothing else. When in reality, they was dancing to James Brown and Ohio Players and all that. These people too. Right. And the b-boys.
So
you
once
know what
again,
I mean?
This is something we've talked about before. All right, y'all. So these are legend. These people are legendary.
Yeah.
Everybody you're seeing right here are very legendary people.
This is a spot called Radiotron. Very famous. You can ask anybody on the West Coast about Radiotron as far as popping and locking, dancing, communal service, giving the young people a place to go and express themselves artistically. Radiotron is legendary in our culture on the West Coast. Big up. I wish I even knew who started it. I'm going to find out too. You know what I mean? But I found out about Radiotron working in Florida. This young guy who was popping and locking showed me a VHS of a Radiotron session and I lost my mind. So, but yeah, yo, that's my man right there, Mr. Animation, Rising Power to the Ancestor.
Yeah. Check him out.
OG.
So check out the kind of gangster style of it in a second.
And if you see a little bit of Michael Jackson, some things you might have seen Michael Jackson doing, or some things you might have seen other people doing, this is where it came from, y'all. Yeah. It's where all them styles and dances come from.
See, animatronics is his specialty. But anyway.
All right. So that's popping and locking. You know what I mean? On that level. And then if you go up north, you got Radiotron. When you go up north, you got more. When you go up north, you got more of the popping and where the popping stuff originated. So you got, if you don't mind pulling up them four elders, Tron, Geometric. These elders here can give y'all a little bit of a display of your northern styles. You know what I mean? Kind of like martial arts, right? You got southern style, you got northern style, Cali, West Coast. You know what I mean? where all of these styles originated. And that's strutting that they doing right there.
Alright.
If you want a group, and we're gonna show you another group
in a minute
that took this to the next level.
Yeah.
But if this is so, when you saw those lockers, that's the locking style choreo, right? This strutting here is what I would consider the popping style choreo. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Well, we're about to show you an amazing group in a second. Even though these dudes are crazy, like especially individually.
Individually, they're phenomenal.
Matter of fact, let me get to
yeah,
that.
Let's go. Yeah, because each of them will show you a different, you know what I mean, technique and way about bringing it. That's the way. These are elders too, y'all. You look how old these brothers are.
But my reputation. Hey.
All right, now watch. This is tutting y'all on another level, yo. Watch this touch, yo.
Man, Naruto and them eat your heart out, man. This is what I'm talking about right here.
Oh my gracious, yo.
Oh my goodness.
When y'all watching people tut like nowadays, this is what they trying to do.
Yeah, this is, look how clean it is. Like a bunch of 90 degrees.
Look at them 90s in his hands. Clean.
Ooh. Egypt. Alright. Come on.
Oh, no, he was mean
See,
with it.
now he ticking.
Yeah. Watch his ticking. You watch him, yo. He nice with it.
Oh, that was my man we was watching earlier. Okay, I know who that is now. Come on, y'all. I mean, maybe y'all don't understand, but now check my man's out.
Oh, this my dude though. This my dude right
Check
here.
my man's out.
I love my generation, yo.
Yeah. And see, fast dance like this.
Well, this is where I come from.
Yeah.
These are the people I learned from. This
But I'm
is
talking
cool.
about this particular
Yeah.
dude. To me, you dance like this dude. Oh, he got finger tucks in it.
Oh no, what?
Check him out. Wait a minute, let's see what he got. Oh, nice. Yo, this is something slight for these dudes.
Come on, yo. Come on, yo. Come on, yo. Ooh. All right, we'll be here all day. Hold on.
Wheel. All right.
But yeah, if y'all want to show anybody, any child or anything, pull this up. Be like, okay, y'all, this is the original.
This is hip hop.
Popping. Yeah, this is hip hop, but this is the original pop at some of its finest. Y'all pull that one up, yo. That is just, yo, big up to them elders, yo. That joint was really that touches my heart every time I watch it. But okay,
So let me hit the spiel up right quick. So peace and blessings, y'all.
Word.
You're watching the Culture Chronicles. I never did do this anyway, so let me just do it while it's on my mind.
I'm gonna grab some water.
You're watching
while
the
you
Culture
do that.
Chronicles. You know what I mean? Sponsored by the Culture Chronicles. You know what I mean? Soul Trust Records, Crumb TV. I don't have my Soul Trust Records jank up, but we here. We in the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so right now we talking about. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was about to say, you're Moo Atlanta Studios. You're in Soul Trust.
You're
so
in Soul
good to
Trust
go.
Records right now with us. You know what I mean? So SoulTrustRecords.com is where you can check us out. check out Fetz's book, man, Off Stage. The man knows what he's talking about. It's a good read. It's good stuff. It's not expensive. It was a labor of love. You can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Today we're talking about b-boying versus popping and locking.
Not versus, but just,
Yeah, but not against. We just mean, comparing one to the other. And do they have the same origins? Is this all b-boying? Why are we making a distinction? What is it? So far we've learned that the distinction is definitely geographical. First and foremost, it is
West Coast is popping and locking. Northern California is popping. Your tutting, your glides, your fades, all that. Southern California is your locking, your Uncle Sound Points, your
Uncle Sam Point.
Your Uncle Sam Point. Thank you. You know what I mean. So thank you. And that's your West Coast style of dancing. Breaking 1 and 2 give you a lot of that. And breaking 1 and 2, you got about 85% popping and locking, 15% b-boying, because it is some b-boying in it. And then say on the more East Coast style of dances, you'll have 85% b-boying with the 15% popping and locking.
I see what you're saying.
And we're going to get into that here in a minute. So check it out. Okay, so now that we've been to the West Coast and everybody understands the West Coast, look, I'm going to get way more in depth with all of this in the future. So y'all just stay tuned, Culture Chronicles. We got you. All right, so boom. We go over here so now we go over here to the East where everybody knows the b-boying, and we're definitely in the Bronx. Okay.
So this the back spins, the head spins.
Right.
Okay.
The top rocks and the.
All
and those, you know what I mean.
All
and
right.
So we'll go to the b-boying, and the b-boying starts. Of course, we all know it is definitely Bronx. As a matter of fact, the word means break boy, Bronx boy, b-boy. So it had different names, and before that, it was called boyoing and going off. Before it was even called breaking. And Kool Herc right. And Kool Herc is also coined. He's also given credit with naming it too. B-boys and break boys, and these are the B-boys. So for those people who like, well, where did the actual term come from? Historically, we say Kool Herc. It was like these are B-boys and they're breaking and break. And then break was also a slang term. A lot of hip hop terms and things, like even the word rap, we've discussed this before, are like old 70s New York slang terms. Or even West Coast slang terms too. Let me rap with you, brother. You know what I mean? Oh, this person about to break. That didn't necessarily mean dance. In some instances, this person was about to go off. They was about to lose it. This person about to they might have been like, oh, this person about to shoot up the place. Oh, they about to break. You know what I mean?
Like Breaking Bad.
Right. You know what I mean? So, b-boying and that's, of course, we all know that it started in the 70s, and it started with top rocking. You know what I mean? And so you have Clark Kent, Teddy Ted, Nigga Twins, Eldorado Mike, South, Bobo, and various names like that. I can name more people. These are elders who started b-boying early, and they weren't really what people are calling b-boying. They were dancing at clubs, but they could just dance.
Okay.
Also, they didn't just wait for the break of the song to dance. They did their best or illest runs during the break. But they were dancing
They went off
during when the break of the
break.
song comes.
Makes a lot of sense.
Waiting at the party for the break. When the break, they were already rocking.
Well, let me ask you something. For y'all who don't follow the history and who not like looking at these documentaries, Fats is saying this because if you watch a documentary, you really would think that not only did all the b-boys solve all their problems and beefs with b-boying, but that b-boys did stand around in a b-boy stance until the break
of the song came on, and then now
and
everybody
now
went
it's
off.
time to
then
right.
That's not the cat, and I found that out from a documentary, called "We Was All Kings." Really dope documentary. The Nigga Twins, they had Nigga Twins up there, and he was just saying how he was laughing because again they wasn't calling it breakdancing at that time, but we in the history want to give credit to the influences where credit is due. So this is an elder. I say 75, around 74. 75 is when what I would call the b-boying that we know started. Now, my man Pluto 7, big up to my man Pluto 7. He big on this, y'all. Pre-80s b-boying history. He has a Facebook page. You can live with it. Check him out. I think it's called, the 70s b-boy. You can look it up or whatever, and breakdancing or whatever. Okay. So he really gets into this. But just briefly, anyway, that's the lineage. So Eldorado Mike and them are b-boying with Kool Herc and the Herculoids. The Herculoids are a dance crew. The cats are dancing with Kool Herc and everything, but they're not going on the floor. These cats are top rocking. So the floor stuff comes a little bit later. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so around 74, 75, I think Batch South Soul, which is when the Latino movement of B-boys starts to come into play. And out of Batch South Soul is, from what my historical knowledge, and if anyone here knows anything, please put me deep. Let's add on.
What is it?
Batch South Soul.
What's the Sal?
SALSOUL. Yes.
Let me see if I can keep going.
And they basically, to me, are like the nucleus of b-boy, of Latino b-boy and Puerto Rican b-boy.
Okay.
They're kind of where they started, because of course, like Crazy Legs would say in Freshest Kids, that the Moreno Dance is what they was calling breakdancing. And this is when El Dorado Mike and them are doing it. This is when Robbie Rob and also the Zulu Kings, when Africa Bambaataa started the Zulu Nation in 75, well, the official b-boy crew, the Zulu Nation in 75, that was Robbie Rob and Beaver and them in 75, starting the b-boy thing. And I think these are the cats that start hitting the floor and all that or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and then you got these cats, El Dorado Mike, and you got Beaver and them that start hitting the floor. Right at the same time, this is when Bat South Soul and them get going. And from Bat South Soul, you got Bronx Boys, you got Rocksteady, you got all that coming from them. New York, you know what I mean? That's that lineage. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you said a mouthful. All right. So all right. B-boying was called the Moreno Dance because Moreno is a brown or black man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
right.
So they were calling it that because they associated it with us because that's what they saw us doing.
We was the first ones doing it. Yeah.
Okay. So they called it a Moreno Dance, and then you were saying that at first they just were kind of doing it like standing, and then somewhere in there.
You know, I mean, like a typical party, you rocking. And mind y'all, you know, you rocking and you doing the same thing. You might have even seen, okay, that Lockers display was 75 Soul Train.
Right.
You might have even saw some of that at a b-boy battle too.
Right.
You know, in New York, you might have seen a locking move right quick, but then he might have ran down and hit the floor. But
I know what you mean.
You see what I'm saying?
It's kind of like if you watching now, like your boy Keita the Great, the young boy who can dance real good. You know what I'm saying? Keita the Great
nice too.
is a dancer. So he's dancing. He's doing the dances that all normal kids are doing now. It's just that he's doing it like a dancer would do it.
Right.
So that's what you're saying. Like everybody's dancing at the joint because this is the time. But you got some people that's just taking it to the next level.
Right.
And then at some point somebody decides to go down on the floor.
Right. And I also want to big up some B girls back then.
Let's go. Let's go.
Janice, Sister Sandra, Deucey, and Sister Boo. These were some of the more, I guess, influential sisters who was b-boying. This is 73, 74, 75, rocking with El Dorado Mike and all that back in the day. But they were influential. I mean, I get mentioned. I just want to big that up. We're definitely big up to the Zulu Union. Y'all know we roll with that. We on the uplifting of the women in hip hop. Has to happen. Anyway.
Yes.
All right. So as we move on, so basically, just a quick review, right brief. 73 through 76, 77, the b-boy thing is kind of forming. 77 with the Latino movement is the b-boying that everybody knows internationally, that one everybody knows and loves. Because once again, when the brothers started getting older around 76, 75, that were influencing and starting the b-boy element for real, it was time for them to go to Studio 54. They're now old enough to go party with Grace Jones and them, so now they're trying to rock with the girls.
Right.
The young Latino brothers this is where they pick it up.
All right, so hold on. So I remember you saying this before. So basically, black people, we doing like we always do. We come up with something really awesome.
Right.
Other people are looking like, wow, that is amazing.
Yes.
They's like, oh, look at the Moreno Dance.
Right.
But now these kids are starting to get older. They're starting to want to go to the club. They go to the club.
Right.
You ain't gonna start backspinning.
You ain't doing all that in Studio 54.
Right. You're not doing that with no girl.
No.
You sniffing coke and you
know,
dancing.
but you're trying to get with her though,
right?
Because you in high school. You graduated high school now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody sniffing coke. I'm just being funny, but I'm not. Right. I just said that because you said Studio 54. Anyway, but you ready to grind up on the ladies, so that ain't b-boying.
Right.
So we kind of left it alone. That's what you're saying.
Not all of us, but yeah, the ones who pretty much started it. A lot of the guys who influenced, they were just getting older. Again,
so it was starting to fade down. But then the Latinos said, "Hold on."
Right. They were
don't let that go.
Right. They were like, "Well, what's going on?" So you got Crazy Legs starting to go around by himself, starting to find. And then you got Rocksteady Crew. Ken Swift and them had some. I think they were called Rocksteady Crew. So they starting to do it.
Rocksteady Crew or Rocksteady Crew?
Rock City. This is early. This is pre-Rocksteady. This is pre-Rock.
Oh, okay. Rocksteady Crew.
Yes, you got Rocksteady, Ken Swift and them. Okay. Again, they all get together and form Rocksteady later under the blessings of Bronx Boy. I mean, it gets deep. But
Okay.
I'm gonna get into all that in another one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I'm just trying to give you a bare bones joint.
I got you.
So now the Latinos take over, and this is when we as people in the world start getting wind of it. Okay, so I'm giving you the whole. We just gave you the historical aspect of b-boying in New York, in the Bronx, and abroad in all other boroughs. You know what I mean?
So hold on, give me that timeline again. So first of all, hold on. What's going on in California during this? Like when
that popping and locking that we just saw on Soul Train.
and popping and locking kind of kicks off in 70.
One.
Okay.
Remember, Don Camelot Campbell starts the Lockers in 71.
71.
Poppin' is starting the same time in Northern California, around 69, according to Pop Tart, around
So
69, 70.
71. And then
Right.
so in New York, what's happening around that same time?
Around 75 or 69?
69, 71. Is B-boy ain't hit yet?
Not quite. It's starting though. Again, 69, 71, the gang truce is just popping. So the gangs are still doing
I
their
feel
thing.
you.
And so b-boying at this time is gangs having their own stomps and dances.
Mm-hmm.
And cats are now trying, this is when cats are trying to do dance battles to stop beefs. This is when that era, that whole thing starts.
Because the gang truce happens in 1971.
in December 71.
So
Right,
okay,
we might as well say 72, but yes, the end of
I'm
71.
with you. So now,
right.
so because that gang truce represents y'all the ability now the tightness and the tension of gang warfare is lessened, allowing people to kind of mingle more
what it
socially.
is, they broke their barriers. So now colors can be worn anywhere without problems. That's really more over what it did. Of course, everybody knew to act a little bit more
feel you.
civilized, y'all. We're gonna try to keep the peace, but yeah, man, you can now come on my block and wear your colors without being and I don't feel disrespected. So now everybody can start partying and walking everywhere. Thus, now that 50 people from the Savage Nomads and the Black Spades can now chill. Fuck it, man, let's throw a party.
Let's throw a party. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of
You know what I'm
sense.
saying?
Usually because
So-
when they're after a big war, people are ready to party.
Well, if
You know what I
we're
mean?
not gonna beef,
right.
what are Nubians and Latinos gonna do if we're not gonna beef?
If we're not gonna be,
We're
we're gonna party.
y'all. So
You
that's
right.
hip hop, y'all.
You
It's
right.
just children. That's all. You know what I mean? It's just the younger generations.
Right.
Because this is another one. Matter of fact, we'll skip what I was about to say and just stick
'Cause
to the
it's a
dance.
rabbit hole,
It's
huh?
another one, right? So we'll stick
So
to the
let me get some of this water.
word. So we'll stick to the dance. Okay.
All right, so we got up to we got all the way up to, and then we made it up to when the world starts finding out.
Right, and
So
this is-
what happens for the world to start well, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Let's go with Flashdance.
Flashdance. All right.
Okay. So we're gonna fast
So
forward.
set them up. Set them up.
All
So
right.
y'all, we talk about the difference between b-boying and popping and locking. Let me get some of these people before I do that. So Jimmy D, and JoJo came. Okay, look like we got a nice head.
Yes, Jimmy D and JoJo. Thank you, sir. They're very crucial. Whoever said that 12Z foul, I hope I said that right.
He said then pass it to the legs. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to say your name right too. Twosi Fuse or Fose.
Go back to what
Young
he said.
City Boys was Kenny and Frosty.
Thank
Okay,
you,
good.
sir.
Come on in here. Come on in
Thank
here.
you, sir. I love
Spy.
it.
There you go.
Yep.
Batch.
Beaver, Kevin. Right, like Spy was Crazy Commandos. Spy and Shorty Rock. Shorty Rock was a Puerto Rican who needs to be mentioned more because he was a mentor and partner of Spy. Spy was what they call a man with 1,000 moves from the Crazy Commandos. Very highly regarded in our culture. They was in a group called Crazy Commandos. Again, this is 75, 76.
Okay.
This is early B-boy history.
Okay.
Appreciate that, homie. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. We're adding on. Nobody is correcting nobody. We're doing this whole history thing right.
And then, I mean, if
and
we need
exact,
correction,
yo.
then we do.
That's
but
what I'm
but
saying.
but
I'm
it's
like, add
adding on.
Right.
It's
I
adding
ain't
on.
got
We
no beef.
appreciate
If
you.
I'm right.
And
And
peace.
so-
Oh, right. And peace, Dak. You know what I'm saying? How you doing,
Oh,
bro?
what up,
You know what I
Dak?
mean? Peace and blessings as
Peace and
always.
blessings.
Good to have you.
Fam-a-lam.
All right. So anyway, so now the world is finding out. So Flashdance is about to hit the scene and
Boom.
kind of change the whole game commercially.
Right.
All right. So let's see what we got. Well, say something to him while I'm
Okay,
doing it.
well, in the meantime, so in between those names that we just named, the b-boying is starting to take off. And so now you got the formation of Dynamic Rockers, New York City Breakers, Rocksteady Crew. We can stop there. I look at them as the powerhouse trilogy of b-boying that you need to look at coming out of New York. Okay? So you got, I'm hearing Dynamic got a lot to do with the power moves. They innovative. They are the power move innovators from what I'm hearing. This scene here from Flashdance is actually how the West Coast even gets wind of b-boying.
Right.
Before this movie, according to my history, they know nothing of b-boying. They are strictly popping and locking up to this point. Now that's Mr. Freeze. This is Rocksteady, y'all. So if you on the West Coast and you watching this, you're like, oh, okay, I know what I'm watching. I can get this.
Yeah.
This us. We doing this. Oh, he killing it. He killing it.
Okay.
So you on the West Coast, right? Pretend we're on the West Coast. We watching Flashdance. We're like, oh, they doing it on the West Coast. Oh, so in New York, they doing our style. Blah blah blah. What is
But what is that? Whoa.
So when they see this, y'all, in the West Coast, they're like, yo, what is that? What is he doing? That's awesome.
And they love it.
And they losing it. They're losing their mind. They're like, oh my God, what is? Of course, that's Crazy Legs right there, right?
So some Californians apparently have already made their way to New York because in that scene we just saw him doing. Hey, that's my man right there. That's my favorite.
Rising power to the ancestor, yo. Frosty Freeze.
Frosty
yo.
Freeze. My favorite.
That's my man said.
Yeah.
Yo, very pivotal. A lot of stuff y'all see today is based on that little sequence he doing right there. You know what I mean? All right. So that scene right there put New York on the map. So, but see, here's what I want y'all to understand. I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, if you're in if you're in the West Coast and you watch this, you saw Mr. Freeze with the umbrella, and you like, oh, that's our style. They started hitting that floor. You was like, oh my gracious, what is that? You know what I mean?
So did we see? Do you think New York saw it from Soul Train?
That's what I think. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Where did you see it? I saw it
on Soul
from
Train.
Soul Train.
And it's also kind of what made me just lump it all together in my mind too.
Check me
now
out.
Now that you say that.
Let me bring some VA hip hop experience.
All right.
I'm
VA
watching Soul
up.
Train. I watched Soul Train before this too, right? So so Thanksgiving's for me. My mama and them, Jason, do the robot. You know, so we Soul Train and you can do the robot. Right. So that's the style that I first pick up, right? Popping and locking. I see Flashdance too. I'm like, oh, what is that? Same thing. A lot of people maybe not from New York. I now that I'm building with y'all right now, I realize, okay, that's my first time kind of checking it too. So now here's the new phenomenon. But what do you call it? What is it called? You know, it's the B-boys doing it, but now the media, this is where the media gets a hold of it.
I see what you're saying.
You see where we go? Now the world is now getting its first glance at true B-boying, like raw.
So the media is like, Flashdance makers, what was that scene on the sidewalk? What was that they were doing? Oh, that's called breakdancing. Gotcha. So that meant all the waves, the tuts, all of that got condensed.
Everything got condensed and put together. And now the electric funk is being played everywhere. So Planet Rock being played.
Gotcha.
Clear being played, and cats is popping, locking, and breaking.
Right.
But okay, this is where it to me it like you said it can get a little confusing. Okay.
Right.
Beat Street Battle. We all know the famous battle we're about to check out right here, right quick. This old famous Beat Street Battle. Can't really talk about it without it. But here's where a little bit of the confusion may or may not come in. You know what I mean? I'll start while she's looking it up with Mr. Wiggles. She mentioned Mr. Wiggles earlier. Mr. Wiggles is Rocksteady. You think Rocksteady, you think B-boy, but Mr. Wiggles pop locks. Mr. Wiggles is from Cali. Mr. Wiggles is from New York. He's from the Bronx. Puerto Rican from the Bronx. So came up under Rocksteady, came up through Zulu and the whole nine, right? But he pops and locks.
Right.
But he was Rocksteady.
Right.
You see how the confusion, how you can be like, well, it's all breakdancing because they go Frosty Freeze in the same crew, but Frosty Freeze on the floor with the footwork, and then Frosty and then Mr. Wiggles is in his crew. So all of this is breakdancing, and that's just when it's not the case. You know what I mean?
Right. So once again, this is one of those examples where this.
Man, he's so sad he messed up so much though. Okay, now hold on.
All right, so here we go. So this Rocksteady versus the New York City Breakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so that's legs, right?
Huh?
Is it?
Who
goes first?
No, Crazy Legs goes at the end. Legs is the last one to take the shoes off.
Yeah.
That's Crazy Legs.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know Crazy Legs by his head. Crazy Legs got
a big head.
Yeah, but he got that Afrocoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy Legs was like us.
Yeah, he looked like
I don't know. I can't
looked
wait.
like my cousin.
I can't wait for the day Nubians and Latinos just work that out. especially in hip hop.
Yeah,
But anyway.
ain't no black and brown. We all
Right.
just brown, or we
Right.
all just black. Like,
Okay, this right here. Now check him out. Okay, this is all Northern California style, right? Can you pause it right quick?
Yes, I can.
All right, that was Mr. Wave, y'all. For those of y'all that don't know, this is Rocksteady in blue, okay? In red is the New York City Breakers. No, like really, like true, indeed, true life. That's the Rocksteady in blue, actual Rocksteady crew. That's actually New York City Breakers in red. That's Mr. Wave, okay? We saw earlier Rocksteady, Flashdance, that was Rocksteady. And then we saw Mr. Freeze with the umbrella. This is where I believe the confusion comes in. Where, okay, these are obviously New York B-boy crews. Obviously.
Right.
But he's in the New York B-boy crew. He's Mr. Wave. And Mr. Freeze is in Rocksteady and he's popping. Mr. Wiggles is in Rocksteady, he's popping. So that it's easy to just kind of cram all of the styles together and call it all breakdancing. So that's pretty much what we dealing with and we trying to build with y'all on today. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So this is a good way to demonstrate. So for those of you who don't know, we always say it, so I know you know by now, but Fats has a book called Off Stage. Now, one of the main points of this book that I think really stands out to me, because it's a hip-hop book and it's about the history of hip-hop. But it's not about the typical history. It's about the fact that when the commercialism kind of comes into play, when we let other people dictate to us what our culture is and what it means and how to define it, we end up running into this place, into this wall where things get misdefined, defined incorrectly. People get left out because the commercial official story takes over. And here's a perfect example of where that happened. Once the media got a hold of hip hop, the media needed a container to put hip hop in, and we didn't even really know fully yet what container that should be,
how that should look. Right.
It wasn't ready to be contained. And you really can't contain a culture all the way, but for sure at this level we didn't know all the way. So you talk to one set of people, hey, they say it's this, and it's like, hey, I didn't know it wasn't called breakdancing, really. You know what I mean? I didn't know it was called b-boying. That's just what the dude told me when I asked him, or whatever it is.
Right.
So you when you start letting other people who are not in your culture define your culture or have a say in how it's defined, then unfortunately you run into that problem. You know what I mean? So Flashdance was not a movie about b-boying. You know what I mean? It was about a ballet chick, right? I mean, you know, like a New York, dancer trying to make it in dance.
Trying to make it in
and
dance,
these are just what the movement of what was going on in that time. You couldn't leave it out.
Right.
And so I'm glad that they showed it and everything, but in a way it caused more confusion than helped in a way.
Now,
you know what I mean?
when did Flashdance drop? That was 83, correct?
We can find out.
Let me see. I think I got it here.
You got it right here?
Let me think. Mr. Freeze. Yep, 1983.
All right.
Flashdance drops in 83. The documentary, the beat we talk about, drops in 84.
Right.
So there you 83, 84 is a big year of international exposure and documentation of hip-hop first.
Right.
I think this is 83, 84. I'm going to go ahead and deem that at the moment, unless otherwise, you know what I mean, put deep or added on. That 83, 84 is the first documentation years. The attempt of the documentation of the culture of hip hop happens.
I'm glad you don't leave movies out when you start talking about the documentation. Right. Even though in The Freshest Kids they didn't leave that out either. They made this same point. So it's not just us, but I'm glad you don't leave out movies, because when you're talking about popular culture and hip hop, they go hand in hand. The same thing happened with the gangster rap movement or whatever, when movies were allowed to kind of come in and dictate. And the first time I ever saw anything about, hey, brace yourself, fool, and all of that, I'm a drive-by and all that. The first time I saw that, after seeing white people do it in the gangster movies, because I thought the first time I saw it was black people, but it was white folks, as you pointed out, with the Italian, with the mafia.
With the mafia.
But the first time I saw black people doing drive-bys, gang life, colors, wearing bandanas and all that kind of stuff. For me, was Boys in the Hood. Colors was out before that, but the first time it hit me, and the whole reality, there's a whole nother set of black people who live a whole nother culture than I do exist, was that movie. And so for me, I felt like I had been to California and lived that life. It was just a movie though. So everybody's life ain't like that in California. But that movie would have had me thinking I was gonna go down there and get shot up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Automatic off rip. You know what I mean? Same way if you was in California and you probably saw New Jack City. You know what I mean? You probably thought it was a little bit different than it actually was.
A bunch of Carters out there all the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Nino Browns and them out there handing out turkeys, you know what I mean, on the street or whatever. So
scared of that, yo.
All right, so what else? What else we got to do? We got about 15 minutes here.
Well, no, that's what I was saying again. That's why I'm glad today. I just wanted to, in honor of Hip Hop History Month, Culture Chronicles, just kind of keeping it moving. This is a discrepancy that it just kind of weighs on my heart. Again, another book that we putting together. This is a chapter in it, kind of easing that up. We're gonna build with y'all. We're gonna start building with y'all more on the next book that's coming. More of the discrepancies, misconceptions of hip hop. This is one of the ones that's kind of near and dear to my heart. I did the post yesterday on Facebook about Spy and Shorty Rock, other crazy commandos, and big up Tasha Iglesias or whatever. Like I said, I had some things that I had to edit on the post or whatever. So big up to that or whatever. But I ain't gonna front, that sparked me to want to do this live today. Pretty much, which is just let everybody know that to set the record straight on popping and locking. It's not b-boying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's not b-boying at all.
It got folded into hip hop as time went on because of the nature of it and how it came about. And I would say,
no, go ahead.
Well, okay. For one, I want to say, just have a few more minutes left. If you have anything you want to add, throw that in, please. But we're talking about b-boying versus popping and locking. Are they really the same? Do they have the same root? Is it all from the same hip hop root? And what's going on with that? So clearing up some confusions about that with my brother Fats today.
Yeah. And the answer is yes. It is metaphysically, culturally, spiritually. As far as the people, if you're looking at the culture,
right.
West Coast young children looking for something, looking for a way out, with looking to expose this energy, the integration that's going on, the white flight is taking place both New York and the West Coast.
The Panther influence,
the Panther influence, all of this is going on around us. So the children are finding outlets and ways to get their art out, and this dance, right with the graffiti, you know what I'm saying, right with the graph movement. Is coming along too.
So in Cali, it's just it manifested one way with popping and locking, and it manifested with b-boying.
With b-boying in another way, because again, but you got the two different environments with popping and locking, palm trees, California, and look at then you got that New York, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, that fast, that b-boying, you know what I mean? That rugged, you know what I mean? So you got that.
It make you feel like like somebody driving a screw into you.
That's how New York is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
So look, I want to say this right quick. This is one of the definite common bloodlines running through these two movements, so we can't leave it out. I think this is another reason why the two movements get lumped together.
Yes.
Aside from what happened with Flashdance, aside from what happened with the two movements being so similar.
Right.
The funk. The origins of b-boying in general, the call and hip hop in general, the call and response, James Brown, getting down on the break beat and all that, James Brown. Then you got all that leading right over into Parliament when you're talking about people like X-Clan and stuff like that, even though they come a little bit later, but still, and all of really, you have the funk permeating all aspects of hip hop on both coasts and even in the South. And disco, because and so it makes a lot of sense that the two movements, and disco means the club where you dance at. To disco means to dance,
Yep.
So
disco is fast funk, and they had to come up with a name, and it was like, well, you know what? Let's call it the place we do it at.
Yeah, to me it was a more commercial kind of funk that's not on the one necessarily.
Right.
Like you said, it's on the 2 and the 4. It's not really on the 1. So but then you got Parliament coming, which we know a lot of people pop and lock to Parliament music. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of people, and that same Parliament music definitely influenced New York as well as Georgia and Texas and stuff like that. So it's no wonder that these two movements would birth these two different dance styles.
But people will be like, boom.
But people will lump them together. Yeah, because a lot of time it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, and then like you said, of course, popping and locking goes on to Michael Jackson, that Grammy show where Michael Jackson did that moonwalk. That was a big movement for poppers and lockers, That was huge for them. Right. Unfortunately, you know how that goes as far as their history, their accolades. You know what I mean?
The right people didn't get the credit because Michael Jackson went and saw.
Right, he went on that scene, found out about that, but all that robot and that's Michael running to Cali, watching these cats do all that, or running up on Soul Train, probably backstage or whatever. Yo, show me how to do that right quick.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Mike can do it.
That dude said that. That dude said that Mike, was it Boogaloo Shrimp?
Yeah, Boogaloo Shrimp was the one that
Mike went and was like, yo, do that again. It was the moonwalk.
Yeah, it was the moonwalk, and he showed how to do the moonwalk. So again, Boogaloo Shrimp up breaking to Turbo. You know what I mean? That's who that is.
Okay, Turbo.
Same dude.
All right, so we're gonna round it up unless Fats has anything else he wants to say.
What I want to do is this. It may run a teeny bit over, but I do want to show y'all. We had pulled up some modern a modern pop lock.
They don't gotta run over. I could just show a little bit of each.
Show a
you know
little
what
bit
I mean?
of the modern pop locking battle and what a pop locking battle, because this stuff is still going on, y'all. You know, this stuff
Of
is,
course.
you know what I mean? Now, some of these battles we're going to show you are from old, you know, a couple of years ago, especially during COVID now. A lot of this stuff has had to slow up. It's going virtual, you know what I mean? But these movements are very, very strong. People have gained whole careers, choreographers. People have moved into this element and
B-boying in the Olympics now, right?
That's what they're discussing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So discussing b-boying going into the Olympics, definitely, because there are b-boy crews probably in every country in the world. Just about.
Yeah, and it is very sporty when you look at it.
You know what I mean? Very athletic sport. That's not your everyday thing. I've been around b-boys, y'all. That's not your, you know, that's not a everyday, all day, just anyone can do that kind of dance.
No, you gotta dedicate your entire life,
it's not a
your entire young life to doing
this.
Yeah,
it's not a game.
And get injured just like football players and everything.
Right, they get hurt. Yeah, it's not. It's real.
All right, this is Kareem versus Morris. Morris is actually one of our favorite b-boys, even though he didn't win this battle. But he didn't really like lose it terribly either. Right. He's a beast. So check it out.
Kareem was nice.
Yeah.
And Morris was actually a dynamic rocker at one time. Modern day.
Ooh.
Footwork.
He ain't really know. He ain't come out of it that great though. Boy.
That's that old shit too. Oh!
Morris is a very explosive style of b-boying.
And he's pretty tall too to be b-boy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of lanky. He just got really long arms. Ooh.
Oh, I love b-boy, yo. I love it, yo.
But check out my man Kareem here.
He got the headgear on, y'all. Whenever you see that headgear, somebody about to head spin.
Let's go.
That's that groundwork. That's that gorilla.
Nice. Hands free, folk. So, all right, that was that battle. Check this battle out right quick. Then we're going to let y'all go. You know what I mean? Or check some of this battle out. This is a long one. Where we at? We got plenty. Check this out. This California versus China All-Stars.
Yeah. California, I believe, is a collaboration of different groups in California that came up with a mega group called California. And they battling these Chinese All-Stars, man. It's one of the best battles I've ever watched in my life. It's a clear display of funk versus athleticism, if you will. You know what I'm saying? California does a good display of both to me. They balance funk, the funky style. They don't take away, they don't miss out on the whole aspect of b-boy and the funk. You know what I mean? But the Chinese All-Stars, they dope, though. I ain't gonna make they dope. Yo, you see what he doing?
I saw it.
He kicking his knee as he go around. Yo, he killing that shit. What machine at?
Now you gotta love b-boying, yo. Look at this dude. Like, do this dude look like he can do that? He's balding. He's kind of fat.
Yeah,
He
killing
look like
it, yo.
just yeah.
Look,
You know
look,
what
yo,
I
he
mean?
killing that jack, yo.
Yeah, you know, you gotta love hip hop for that.
Funky. Oh! He snapped. See, they don't even know what's going on over there, though. I ain't gonna. Oh man. Nice. Nice.
I will let this run go, and then that'll be
Oh
that.
man, yo. California go hard to me, yo. Yeah,
Now,
yo.
I'm enjoying this, but I'll tell you this. And you can see it clearly in this battle. This is a good example of a battle you can see it in. Because the culture is a little, like, because the world is more obsessed with the athleticism of it all.
Right.
You know, the more you flip and the more you spin, the more the audience is going to go,
Right.
But
Right.
really, when it really comes to just footwork and just being able to, I don't necessarily enjoy a lot of the way that this looks. Like, some of these people look like they don't know what they're doing when they're on their feet.
Well,
you know
see,
what I
me,
mean?
again.
I like to see some dancing. That's one thing I really like about dynamic rockers is that a
Right.
lot of them, you know, have nice
But-
footwork and stuff.
But
Before
even in this one, that's why I wanted you to show this one, because to me, I see that difference in these two crews.
In these two crews.
Where California is doing a lot of footwork. A lot of people might be like, well, what is he doing on the floor? That is classic funk, old b-boying
Right.
footwork, but it's also brought up to the time. It's fast, it's quick, it's
Yeah,
athletic, it's
yeah.
right there, but everybody want to see the head spin. Everybody want to
Right.
see all this other stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can clearly see where if this alien showed me, well, which one of these countries created it, I would just be like, well, watch it.
well,
and you
whoever
figure it out.
California is, yeah.
Right. I'm
Right.
like, well, because it originates in dance and not athleticism. So
Right.
you figure out which crew based on, you know, where they started from or whatever. So
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's I'm glad you said that. Like that.
Now watch how funky this dude is. Watch his run. Watch his flavor. How his attitude. Watch
Right.
him. Watch how he look at the b-boys the whole time. I ain't playing
Right.
with y'all.
I know what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? Footwork, old school. I'm gonna eat you up though. Look. Oh. Just. But a lot of people will say that these guys might have won the battle. You know?
Yeah, I
Because
mean, I don't know who won because I haven't, you know, this is a long battle and I
Right.
didn't sit and, you know, watch
Right.
the whole thing. But I'm just saying that in general, even when I watch older crews
Nice.
and when I watch older battles, you know, that's something that you can really see the difference in.
Right.
It's just like, as athletic as it has become culturally, the funk of it is not
Is not
as strong.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
and just
right.
in general, the funk of it, the way they dress and the funk, like it just it's lesser, you know what I mean? Because this has become more of a sport. So a lot of these people that you talk to, they're not always that cultural about hip hop. They just love b-boying.
They love
You know what I
b-boying.
mean?
Oh,
and
right,
there's nothing
right,
wrong with
right,
that.
right,
You know,
right.
that's what happens when something gets as big as b-boying.
true.
You know what I mean? It's everybody not gonna be
Because b-boying, each element has become a world unto itself.
Right.
So b-boys ain't got to go to the open mics, though they should culturally. And MCs are not going to be at these b-boy
That's a
battles,
good point because back in the
though
day they kind of
should.
they would have been
Well, but that's-
having to kind of go. You had to go there and
When you tell our history and culture, they were all there. Am I not right?
well, I mean,
As
just
far as
look at
70s.
this. Where's that footage at?
Right.
Look at this. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a show. I mean, people
Yeah.
are, but, you know, early in the joint, like they're it's a whole performance at the front of this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like people on stage.
So you got the
It's
MCs,
people doing art in there,
you got
everything.
The art, you got the
Yeah.
dance, you got everything, you got everybody up in there. So
Yeah.
it was a machine, like Ice-T said in the documentary that VH1 did. It was a machine, and
Yeah.
everything had to be present.
Now
for
look at this.
it
This is a
to-
tournament.
Right.
Now it's a tournament.
It's a tournament now, and now
Yeah.
judges and now b-boys are not necessarily worried about keeping the funk and keeping the culture alive. They
Right.
want to win the battle now. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so it's ego. We're back to the ego. You know what I mean?
And then look at that. Look at the difference in that too. Because if it is a tournament, then that means the DJ, the person on the mic goes 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
there's
and
limits.
then it's your
There's
turn.
Limits. You start limiting.
Yeah.
There's limits on the art form of dance now. There's limits, and then you think there's a lot of thought going on. In that. I've never been in none of these current judged battles. Have never danced really hard, took it to that level in this era of dance, and I feel for them because when we battled back in the day, it was at the club, it was the two crews, it was the moment, and you battled. And when I think about it, yeah, I guess we wanted to win the battle, but more or less to represent the crew and battle was at the end of the day. You wanted to win, but as long as y'all rep, to me at the end of the game, that seems to be at least with the old and the new now. But now with the judging, and again, I'm not wrong. A battle is a battle. A contest is a contest. Everybody wants to win a contest at the end. I'm not mad at that. Just know that takes from the culture. And it takes from the art form of what you're doing. If you got a bracket, that is a tournament.
Yeah.
That is
well, it is a tournament. Yeah, and they call them battles, but they are tournaments.
Right. You know what I mean?
And then, and what's interesting is like both of these dudes. These just so you know, these are two world renowned b-boys that deserve to be world pop lockers who deserve to be world renowned. They're very, very, very dope. Gucci is amazing. Yeah, Green Tech is amazing. Gucci is from Japan and Green Tech is from Canada. So it shows you how hip hop is spread, and so by it doing that, it's not going to be as potent as it was. That's just the nature of things that spread.
Right.
And these people make money. They win money with these battles and stuff. So the fact that b-boys can actually sustain their families and stuff off of this is dope. But you're right. At the end of the day, it takes away from that thing. And these two people probably have paid their dues in actual cypher battles in the club in the moment. There's no way that they haven't. Right. Like when you watch. Especially when they were both in their raw, they're getting a little older here, right? But in their rawness, you know what I mean. So I know that they paid their dues, right? So they know what we talking about.
Or like when we found like house dancing, right? Quick, we found Ejo, right? Now we watch Ejo battle people today, right? It was like, okay, Ejo is like that. I did not know. Sorry, Master, I did not know his history. Ejo go back to original house dance in New York tough. When you had to be a beast,
right?
What's sad about that is Ejo, y'all haven't seen the best of Ejo because no one is bringing Ejo, the best of Ejo out. There's no need. Ejo out there playing with y'all.
Well, that's the same with these two. These two people, they go a little harder when they battle each other because they're both
they know they
top notch people. But for real, yeah, I haven't seen Green Tech. That's this guy right here, one of my favorite poppers. Right. I haven't seen Green Tech go hard in I see him go harder on his IG page, just like feeling it in his room or out in the street. Doing his thing. But yeah, these battles, because he's playing with these people. Yeah. These people are nowhere.
And younger people,
because he comes from that era.
And younger people are more worried about the battle itself than the craft.
Right.
You worry about that craft and you hone in on that craft. Also, another disadvantage, and no disrespect, one thing I learned this as a chapter leader in Zulu Nation, having b-boys around you, living around b-boys. Some b-boys like back in the day, the early b-boys who started were poor. So they danced for a lot more than what a b-boy will be dancing for today. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit of a disadvantage I've noticed. So a lot of the younger b-boys in our chapter back in the day, they would come practice here, break out credit cards that their parents gave them, and then they would go to the club. You know what I mean?
And again, that has happened across the board with the culture. Right. Racking is a part of graffiti, which means stealing your paint, y'all. Right. Racking is a part of graffiti, but now it's a part of the culture because those people really couldn't afford the paint. Like you have lots of money. You go to private school, but you still stealing the paint because it's a part of the culture. Yo. Yeah, that's phony. That's you faking it.
Right, and we moving along. So now if we're in the culture, if we are in college and we are better off as people in hip hop nowadays, all right, then let's go buy the paint.
Yeah, let's buy the paint. Right.
And let's have our own buildings to paint on.
Right.
And in that way, we can keep
because we don't really gotta be as renegade as we used to have to be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They really had to do that, y'all. They really didn't really think there was anything else for them to do. Remember, I want everybody to always remember this about the creators of hip hop. If they weren't doing something for themselves, it wasn't benefiting them. The only thing that was in their favor was the things that they created themselves, which was hip hop, the elements, the gangs, and all the little other things and ideologies that they came up with. That's it. That's all they had. I'm actually gonna leave. We can go ahead on that hour on that note or whatever. I want to thank everybody for sticking around.
Yes.
Big up, peace, all the love we got. Thank you very much. B-boy versus popping and locking.
Let me spiel you. You know what I mean? As you B-boys stance it up. All right, so we love you. Thanks for being here. Anybody who comment, liked, and shared, we love that. But if you haven't done that, please at least like and share. It just takes a press of your finger on that screen, I think. You know what I mean? We've been talking about B-boying versus the pop and the lock. rock them, and just setting a few things straight so you would know kind of the intricate history of those two dance movements and where they come from, and making sure everybody gets their propers and their dues. Okay, so on Tuesday, don't forget to check us out at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on whatever channel you're tuned into, as well as Crumb TV, for the Offstage live book reading, part 3. All right, so I think it's looking like it'll be 4 parts. So
four, maybe
five,
depending,
but it's looking like 4. And so 7 o'clock, check you there. I'll be live again in about an hour with Crumb. We're going to talk about the movie Jingle Jangle. All right, we're going to talk about the occult and esoteric meanings, and just kind of break down the movie Jingle Jangle. It's like a new Christmas musical that came out on Netflix. Actually, a pretty decent movie with nice music and singing and Forrest Whitaker. You know what I mean? So
Jingle Jangle. I don't think that you should jangle. Break it down. Here we go.
Hey,
for you hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Fats is mad old school on me sometimes. You know what I mean? I ain't know nothing about Jingle Jangle until Fats. You know what I mean?
Collab. You know what I mean? That black. Yeah.
So we'll be live again in about an hour at 8. So check me out then. Anything else you want to say, Daddy?
No, y'all. Peace and blessings. Happy Hip Hop History Month. For those of you that I guess do celebrate the holiday, happy holidays to you. All that, you know. Everybody be safe. Get ready for whatever it is they're about to do with the virus. 2 companies I think have done it. One company had to go. They had put one out and then it had side effects, so they had to come back on that. New York has already gone mandatory, so everybody keep your eyes and ears open for that. Other than that, love y'all. Peace and blessings.
And she said she liked Les Twins. Yeah, we like Les Twins too,
yeah,
and we liked them before Beyonce. So we felt we actually got to be pretty proud of them when we saw them with her.
Yeah, we was proud of them because we saw them on this very battle scene. First.
Yeah, we rocked with them too.
Doing their thing too. Yeah, yes.
And how you doing, Amber? All right, so peace, y'all. Peace and blessings for real this time. We love you. Catch you in the next go round. All right.
All right.
One love.
Peace.
Peace.